going to come in hot today, Razor, because we're sitting down actually in the evening after the Bruins burp up. That's more than a burp. Barf up a 3-0 lead and lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins in overtime. I was going to come in hot. I was. But more importantly, the Cushing Penguins, led by Mason Raycroft, in net. I think I saw 21 saves. Could be wrong, but I thought I saw that. Win the large school New England championships. What was it, 7-0?
Yeah, right? They stepped on them. Yeah, big day down at UConn for the Penguins. It was still kind of a game. It was only 3-0 after 2, but yeah, dominant from the Penguins today. So lots of moving around, but happy house, I guess. So
congratulations to Mason and his team. But since I really don't know much of his team, I know 2 or 3 of the kids there, but in particular to Mace Man and Cushing, the congrats on the win. That's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. Mason is a sophomore there and had quite the season, starting I'd say a major amount of the games, right? Is that a heavy amount, I'd say?
Yeah, he got 2/3. So yeah, it was a great year, and kids had an awesome day today. Yes.
So
and more importantly, hockey season's over.
Well, kids, more or less. You got to deal with the BS of.
Oh yeah. That's no more coaching for Dad this month.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that saved me from coming in really hot for what just happened. I know you only caught the end, and I know you've watched the whatever highlights, etc. And
yep.
But you didn't live through the entire thing.
I got home happy. Everything's perfect. 3-1. I literally went up, took a shower because all right, I'll be back. And it was 4-4. I'm like, what? Well, the kids are like, what? I'm like, what? 4-4? What the hell's going on here? So then I rewound it and watched all of it. Like, what the hell? It's annoying. It's annoying. I'll be the half glass full, guys, as I try to do, and 3 points over the weekend we'll take. But that sucked.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Let's get that out of the way early on here. I'm assuming you took a shower because you probably were doused in champagne from the celebration. By the way, this episode of Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, presented by Copeland Automotive Group, Sunset Lake CBD, Fazenda, and Sparks. We'll get to our spark of the weekend. I don't know if there's a spark of the game. I have our spark of the weekend. So, Razor, you and I did a show actually yesterday morning, our Saturday morning brew, live on EEI, and then put it out there. But because the Bruins had 2 games after that show, the Caps yesterday, the Penguins today, we wanted to do a, kind of a quick show about that. And not that I ever take anything for not granted, but, I'm thinking, okay, wasn't bad against Washington. Not pretty. You're playing against a team that just traded 2 heart and soul guys from their team. One of their greatest defensemen ever in John Carlson, and then one of their grind guys, identity guys in Nick Dowd. And the Bruins were able to find a way to win. I mean, they did. It was a 3-1 game, empty net goal. It was not pretty. 12:38 starts are not pretty for a lot of those guys. It was not a fun game. I was there with Jake, and it was not an electrifying game. But they won, and I'm saying, okay, they got it out not out of their system, but they got their legs going. Now they're going to go into Pitt. Both teams are playing back to back. No Malkin, no Crosby. Just take care of biz, and the Bruins did. The Bruins did for a while. They did, and as far as I'm concerned, it all changed when they're up 3-0, and then Hampus Lindholm takes another penalty on the 5-on-3. Whether the first penalty call probably wasn't a real penalty. I mean, you could make an argument that maybe McAvoy got him, but it was more, they called it on Aspero. It wasn't a trip, my eyes. Doesn't matter. You can't take another penalty. Hampus Lindholm takes another penalty. They're down 5-on-3. That's when the kid Chinnikov scores to make it 3-1. And to me, it just changed the tenor of the game there. I know the third period was gonzo, but that to me was a major changing moment in the game.
No question. It's 3-rip. They call 5-on-3s nowadays, right? Like
Yeah, they do.
they call 5-on-3s. So you have to protect there. There's 6.5, there's 7 minutes left. 7 minutes left in the second period. You're up 3-0. And yeah, you have to live to fight a day through that first penalty kill, but you can't give them a free one. No freebies for the next 7 minutes, guys. That's what the bench is talking about. Nothing for free. Everything's 200 feet. If you get on the penalty kill, you can't take another one and make it easy. And they do that. And you're right. 3-1 is just so much different going into the third than it is 3-0, especially nowadays. And we saw what that period did. Nowadays, those 2-goal leads are just like 1-goal leads, or just like ties for 20 minutes. When you have a team up against the wall, they're going to push back, and you paid for it again on the road. Get on the road. This is like kind of the theme on the road, right? I know we're going to get to that. They close these out at home because they're disciplined and they're under control, and they make it hard for teams. Today they made it easy for Pittsburgh, and that's really what they're thinking about on that plane ride home.
Is this the most glaring area, this being the road woes? Is this the most obvious area where their leadership needs to be better? We really haven't talked about not having a C on a sweater since the beginning of the year, and rightfully so. But with that said, Razor, is this a leadership void type of thing? And it's not just one, it's the collective group. Is this the most obvious area, my friend?
I don't. It is as a group. Now, would it change if one of the guys had a C? Right? Like I don't think so.
Way. I mean,
yeah, no, I know that. I know you didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking I'm trying to answer the question. Is it leadership, or is it just the fact that they're not patient enough, or their game plan isn't good enough on the road. They're not willing to play the hard way all the way through, which they get away with a little bit at home. So I'm not sure if I'm not sure if it's like a leadership thing, or if it's more a matter of like your best players, right? Like two different things for me. The best players have to be better in this game. They do. Like the overtime, they've been great in overtime, but that wasn't good enough in overtime. Like you can't do that in overtime. There's different times where these guys are out on the ice for these goals, whether it's Philly or this one. Like you just they need to come up bigger for a shift or a goal or a timely play. And you add in Hampus Lindholm to that, like that penalty. He's part of the leadership group. He's part of the best player group. That can't happen.
The Chinnikov goal on the power play was scored at 14:44, so under 6 minutes remaining in that second period. It wasn't like Pittsburgh was all over the Bruins after that goal, but you could just feel that it's different. To your point, it's so different. It's that now one shot in the third period early, and all of a sudden it's pucker up sphincteritis time for the Bruins then. Yeah. It just is.
Yep.
You can see it. Not literally, but you can see it. In the third period, 6 minutes in at the 6:02 mark, it ends up being Connor Dewar with a backhand snipe after a play that, well, the Bruins have quite honestly done it, or quite frankly have done it often. The long, you'll try for the it's like an icing play, it's an icing play, but you nullify it with the speed. Dewar's got good speed. He gets on the inside and he backhands the puck over a stunned Jonas Korpisalo. Heck of a shot. Heck of a shot. But this is where the Bruins start watching, I think. Right?
Yeah. I hated the goal, right?
Yeah, except for the shot. I hated it
You
too.
have to defend that better. And not to the Korpisalo. Like, you'd love a save there too. But it was a great shot, but you just can't let that guy in behind you. You have to be aware. You have to be closer together at center ice. You can't allow that play to happen. And so again, that goes to the mentality, the road mentality that you need to have there, where yeah, we want to push, but we also have to play here. We also have to play some defense. We also have, that's too easy, right? It's the 5-on-3 goal and that goal are easy goals for Pittsburgh. And instead of being up 3-0 on the road, you've made it easy for Pittsburgh to be 3-2. And then you make it even easier because you don't get ready for the next shift. And seconds later, it's 3-3. So that's the easy part for me. That's frustrating.
Yeah. Just from a goalie perspective, only because I like to ask your take, what can a goalie do there in the sense of, is he not thinking that this play is going to happen? Does the catching it off guard, and then the point of release thing is always very tough for a goaltender off of a backhand. I guess in a perfect world, what would you like to see goaltending there? Not saying he wasn't to blame, but like you said, that would have been a nice defensive play too. Who was it? Aspero? That was the beginning.
Yep.
Of a very, very difficult third period for Jonathan Aspero.
Well, it was. And so first, for me as a goalie, Aspero, I want him turning him to the outside, right? Mm-hmm. You get a guy to the middle, backhand, forehand, that just makes it much, much harder. So first off, I want to close that guy from the middle of the ice, which is where he shot it from. So that's the big one. NHL goalies are probably expecting that, and I think that's what made it hard for Korpisalo. As much as it was the backhand, is that guy got to spin to the middle, because you know that as a defender that you need to push to the outside and take the middle of the ice away. I guess from a goaltending point of view, you got to be a little more patient. He didn't read the release, which is hard. Again, the backhand, spinning backhand's hard to read, but Korpisalo's down and he's reaching above him. So he didn't drive into it. He didn't hold his edges a little bit longer, and he was chasing both the puck and the play.
By the way, Dewar makes a little bit when he speeds to the puck, and it's a hell of a play from the defenseman Shea from about 160 feet, maybe 170 feet, because I think it was Zadorov who had taken a shot in the first place. There's a little bit of a rebound. Shea ends up getting it. He twirls to the right side of his goaltender, the right wing side, and probably about 170, 75 feet. He sees Dewar streaking, going hard, and he slaps it all the way down, a slap shot, and you couldn't have caromed it more perfect.
That was perfect.
Off the wall. But when Dewar comes up to it, he's a lefty. He almost has like a fake half clapper, like he might slap it right away. I don't know if that threw off Aspero and Korpisalo just a little bit. Regardless, to your point, Dewar, who is a lefty, does spin to the inside. Beautiful release, but in and out of the net immediately. But come on, like I'm with you. No, I'm with you. And that the place then is like 3-2, and it's a gorgeous goal for the home team, right? You're not. They made something out of nothing, right?
Correct. That to go 160 feet like that is just too, something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Something out of nothing.
So then the Bruins are up 3-2 at that time. And then Anthony Mantha scores to make it 3-3. 30 seconds later? Yeah, 30 seconds later. Big man gets in. I'm not going to go through every goal again. It's just, I'm thinking like,
oh, it's so annoying.
I'm like, come on. So it's 3-3, okay?
Yeah.
But then Pavel Zacha. Thank God for Pavel Zacha and his line.
Thank God for that second line. Like, can these guys they can't get enough credit right now. We've been giving them flowers, but they did it again tonight. Man, they're just
and he scored the first goal against Washington. Yeah. And so, he gets his hat trick goal off of a cycle. They're the only line, including the fourth line right now, that is regularly playing with pucks in deep, pucks below the goal line, work off the cycle, create odd mans versus just trying to go straight on, right? Like they're doing everything. Zacha gets the pass from Arvidsson, who may have been trying to get Casey Middlestat just busting towards the left post a little bit, but regardless, it goes perfectly into the mid-left slot area where Pavel Zacha is, and he snipes it up top over the glove of the goaltender Shilov's to make it 4-3. And not that you're thinking, okay, it's over. Hell no. It wouldn't dare go there thinking that it was over. But all of a sudden, you're saying, okay, reset, guys, reset. And then it's Anthony Mantha again. And this one, to me, at 8:47, the puck comes to the middle of the ice. Wotherspoon shoots it. And again, it's just like, oh, no. Like the puck just drops right there for Mantha. I think it hits off of Korpisalo, off of Mantha, and drops.
Yeah.
And, Aspro, they're looking at puck, etc. I mean, it's a dirty goal. But as soon as they scored that goal, I'm like, done. They're not going to win. You can't give up multiple leads and think that you're going to get away with it.
No, I was actually, and that's kind of the point of at the start where it's like, I'm glad they got 1 point out of this, because I agree at 4-4, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to get scored on with a minute left and they're not going to get anything out of this one.
I actually thought that too.
Like there was way too much time. Again, just under 3 minutes to go 4-3, get the goal. Okay, reset. All right, let's go, guys. Like, let's go. And then under 3 minutes later, you give up the 4-4, and now you got to fight for 8.5 minutes. I was nervous then. I really was, that they're not going to be able to close this out before overtime. So that's where my positivity points to. I know it's kind of mental and deranged, but the fact that they got a point, because at that point it was leaking oil big time. Yeah.
This is going to be the epitome. If they don't make the playoffs by a point, this is going to be the game that everybody looks to. You can also go to...
Yeah, there'll be a couple more. There will be, right? Like it... And there's probably one. There's definitely one or two in October that will. And this is what happens when you're in 8th place. This is what happens when you're in 8th place.
Yeah,
like I missed the playoffs by a point. I remember the game that my partner played in November in New Jersey that we lost 7-6, and that point killed us. And we were up 6-3 in the third period with 8 minutes left, and we lost. Like that's. So listen, this is what happens when you're in the wild card spot. You think about points, and that's what makes these games. That's what makes it hard to make the playoffs in this position, because it's stressful.
All you got to do is go back to the Stadium Series game, and you say right there. I mean, that's another major.
What was the game at home, Florida at home in October, where they had a goal, like they gave up 2 goals in the third period, like 8 minutes left, right? Like. Yeah. The 30 seconds left, right? Like all of those things. And that's why you don't want to be in the position. It's a good position to be in, but you'll second guess if you don't figure it out. And tonight, you're right. It's going to be right in the top 3 of the list.
It has to be.
Because it's against Pittsburgh. That's the other
without
part.
Malkin or Crosby.
Well, but also it's like you could have put Pittsburgh in a really tough spot tonight in the standings, because you would have jumped them, and then they have to worry about Columbus, and you don't have to worry about Columbus. Right. We talked about this Saturday morning on the show, is the sooner the Bruins don't have to worry about Columbus, because they put New York, Islanders, and Pittsburgh in the rear view, the safer they are. And they didn't do themselves a favor today doing that at all, because that's a big swing that happened.
And now their next 2 games are against Western Conference opponents, which... at this time of year, do you want more 4-point games, or do you want?
I don't think you do right now, the way the Bruins are playing. I think you want to find your game here the next 2 games against the Western Conference team, and worry about your 4-point battles when you're feeling it rather than grinding.
Fair enough. I mean, I know I shouldn't look ahead. I said this. I think it was yesterday. The San Jose game, the way that they play open hockey, wide open hockey.
That'll look like tonight's game.
Concerns me a bit for the Bruins. I think they do better against some other teams, like structured wise, like I think LA does. But again, you never look past anybody. You want to talk positive, or do you want to talk negative here before we talk about sponsors? Where do you want to go? I'll let you, my very positive, very esteemed analyst friend, tell me which one you want to do, because I'll give you the choices here. Positive is the Zacha line. It's the play of Pavel Zacha, where he's elevated himself to with Arvidsson and Middlestat and everything, or the negative of what the hell is going on with the first line. Pastrnak, I know he scored, which was nice, but their defensive responsibility has not been good. They've been getting hemmed in their own zone a lot. Lindholm, I feel like hasn't. I just don't think he's been enough Razor. Like Zacha, to me, has outplayed him.
Well, let's stay that. Yeah. So let's do that.
Where do you want to go?
No, well, no, we got to do that. That's as again, I'm positive with the point, but that's probably all that deserves positivity wise. They're still in the playoffs after this weekend. They got 3 points. That's the positivity.
Okay.
The negativity part is that's exactly what I was just thinking is does Zacha, do you have to break the second line up to help?
Well, there's my question. Yeah.
To help everybody else out. It almost feels like you're there where Zacha's got to move up, Geeky, Zacha, Pasta, and then you're mangling the two mid lines, the second and third line, and mashing them up, and that might even mean Minton goes in between Middlestat and Arvidsson, and then you go Lindholm, Husnudinov, and Easymon or Steve. You know what I mean? Like that's what it kind of feels like you have to do. I'm
leaning that way. The lines that you just said. First of all, now, okay, a couple of things. Pasternak talked about that, he's human. Marco Sturm talked about that too, that, he's admitting the confidence isn't there. This was after yesterday's game. I'm paraphrasing what he said. I don't, a lot of people making a big deal out of it. Well, but you're the guy. I love the guy. I love him. I one of the top guys in the NHL. But when you're not the guy for a stretch of time, that's what people want you to be. They need you to be. That's why people get so commented. That's not a term. What's the right word? They make comments about it. They need him to be better. He says he knows it. He's going to work his way through it. I hope the goal that he scored in this game is similar to the Geeky goal that he scored against Dallas. That was an innocuous type goal that even Morgan was like, yeah, whatever. Okay. But eventually then he got going again. But David's details need to be better defensively and offensively. They need to be better. He looks sluggish to me. Maybe that's a mental thing more than anything. I don't know. Lindholm to me has not produced. We know that. He had the empty net goal yesterday, but 5-on-5 Razor, he hasn't produced much. I understand he creates different things for this team and face-offs and this and that and everything, but I'm at the point right now where that's why the line changing, like you're talking, I think has to happen. I think it has to happen for the top line and also for like Lindholm saying like, hey, you need to be in this spot versus that spot. This better serves you right now.
Yeah, and again, it wouldn't the issue with Lindholm. It wouldn't be a problem if he wasn't scoring if they were responsible defensively. To your point, because it's that you're not putting. I don't need David to be responsible defensively. David makes plays all over the ice, and he'll make the big defensive play when he needs to. He doesn't have to be blocking.
Which he did in the Pitt game, by the way. Diving back, I'll give him credit.
Like he does do those things. That's David. That's his defensive. Like that's what he does. David needs to score. He knows he needs to score. Everybody knows he needs to score. But Elias Lindholm doesn't need to score if that line is being productive defensively and staying out of trouble and not giving up goals. And that's where Zacha he got his hat trick tonight, but you're still not really. He's got 19 goals, but really what he's done so well is play his 200-foot game. Mm-hmm. And the goals have kind of fallen into it. He's going to be a 20 goal, maybe 25 goal scorer again this year. But no one's talking. He's so good because it's defensively, he protects everybody else. That's why the second line's been so good, because he protects everybody else and he lets those other guys get in on the forecheck like you talked about. Right now, the top line's not being able to do that because they're getting hemmed in and or they're giving up too much on the rush because guys aren't in the right spot, and that falls on the centerman.
I was really singing praises, and I still will, of Marat Husnudinov, but after I did that a couple of days ago, he's kind of tailed off. They need that energy again. I think that needs to be shaken. I do think it's time to put 88 and 39 back together.
Yeah.
It is time. Do it.
It energizes both those guys. I understand you do it as long as you can, but right now they need energy this week. Like they've got to find a spark.
And they haven't gotten it from their fourth line either, like they were. Those guys have not created as much momentum as much holy shit, here come the big boys in the last couple of games that they need. I'm gonna ask rhetorically, is it that hard coming out of the break, or is it something else? Meaning, is it the fact that the games have been elevated, the intensity, the passion, whatever it is, the pushback. I don't know. It feels a bit different. I mean, the team is now what? They're 500 out of the, what are they? They're 3-2-1, basically 3-3 out of the break.
Yeah, and listen,
but they've been outplayed.
That's what you're talking about. Because the reality is 3-2-1 every 6 games. If they do 3-2-1 3 times, they get in the playoffs, right? That 3 games over 500 from this point, 4 games over 500 gets them into the playoffs. I think with the math. So it's okay, but again, it's the sustainability of it that's more of the thing. And I think it is. I think it has been the break. I think it's changed their momentum just a little bit. And also the other thing is too, they were amazing in January, right? Like that pace wasn't really sustainable either. Okay. So I think everything was going really well. They had a lot of home games. They were catching teams on back-to-backs. All of those things fell into place in January to have the 12-2-3 record they did. I think that's, the expectation, right? The expectation that, again, where are we at? 19 games left, right?
Yep.
So again, that 3-2-1 3 times is 9-6-3. Get you in the playoffs, probably.
It probably does. Let's recognize sponsors. Then I do want to talk about Zacha a little bit more. I want to talk about where we're like he's up at next year's his last year of his contract. Is he that July 1st guy that you're like, we're got to lock him up? We're going to do that. Let's talk about his line mates as well. A couple of other things, got to touch on goaltending, but for now, let's talk about you can count on Copeland because counting on Copeland is the smartest thing you can do for your cars. Go to countoncopeland.com. Copeland Toyota, Chevrolet, Subaru dealerships. Was texting with Copey yesterday. He was at the game, the Bruins game. He was, I don't know if he ended up going to see some prep hockey as well. If you didn't see him, I'm guessing he didn't make his way down there. But you can count on Copeland to bring you awesome service, both new and used. Go to countoncopeland.com to check out all of their inventory, all of their deals. And as Razor always says, their service is spectacular. Countoncopeland.com. You can also count on Sunset Lake CBD to bring you amazing products. And after this game this afternoon, we'll call it evening, I think I might go with the sleep gummy instead of just the good night gummy.
The spring forward, it's go time.
That screws me up. It does.
I love it. I loved it tonight on my way, like 7:00, and the sun's still out. Speaking of sunsets, it was still out, but it's a tough couple of days here. Like that was a disaster this morning.
Like all of a sudden, your head's like just a little spinning. Yeah. Like, what's going on? I didn't go to the bar. In fact, I didn't even drink last night. And what's happening right there? But check out Sunset Lake CBD because they've got sleep gummies, good night gummies. That's with and without melatonin. Vibe gummies, sour bears. They've got tinctures and gummies. They've also got products for your pets. You don't want to miss out on checking out these products, and especially these sleep products, because you want to get your good 8 hours or great 8 hours of sleep. You don't have to go to a dispensary. They'll send it right to your home. Everything's made at their farm, Northern Vermont, all natural stuff. These are great products. Use the code BRU20, get 20% off the entire site. They are awesome people, awesome products, and they are awesome sponsors to have. We can't tell them how much we appreciate them. Go to sunsetlakecbd.com. Again, BRU20. We also love our people at Fazenda, Fazenda Coffee, fazendacoffee.com/morningbrew, the coffee roaster and distributor that Morning Brew has only been affiliated with. We love what Pete and the guys do over there, or guys and gals. Fantastic stuff. Whole bean, they'll grind it for you as well. You can get very dark roast to light roast, all different types of products. Go check out Fazenda, Fazenda, fazendacoffee.com. All right, lastly, spark of the weekend, because there ain't a spark of the game. No? There's no spark of that game. I mean, Pavel Zacha and his line. But hat trick. But let's just give it to the Zacha line for the weekend, because Pavel had the first goal against Wash, and then Victor Arvidsson had the second goal. So those guys have been spectacular. They're my spark, and I'll let you tell me if you agree.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. These guys, and again, we've been glowing about these guys for a few weeks now, and I think they were flying a little bit under the radar throughout the month of January, but we've certainly seen it out of the break that it's not even close how consistent these guys have been, and they've just been the best 5-on-5, and it's not even close. And again, Pavel Zacha leading the way, just his quiet ability to dictate what happens in the game when he's on the ice is really special. And he's up to 45 points on the season now.
Did you get a chance? I know you were busy on Saturday. Did you get a chance to see his goal on the power play where he got it? And it was a nice pass from McAvoy, and then he kind of attempted the shot, and then it bounced up, and then he backhanded it almost like he swatted it down, hand-eye coordination. If you get a chance to see that.
Yeah. And his toolbox is so good, right? Like we watch morning skate or we go to practice, and he's really one of the most talented people on the ice. Like the stuff he does in between drills and when he's shooting the puck, like he really is a six-tool hockey athlete. And if he really just wanted to get points and give up on the defensive game, he'd be an 80-point guy. He really would be if that's what he chose to do and wasn't as responsible as he is. And I think that goal on Saturday shows that. Like just the skill level that the guy has is through the roof.
He's still, I could always say, shoot a little more because it's such a hard shot, but he's producing right now. As you said, 19 goals on the season. His career high 2 times is 21, both achieved with the Boston Bruins, his first and second year with the Bruin. Because of the way, 2 things, because of the way that he carries himself, and because he's been in the league since he's been 19 years old, when he played, I'm pulling it up, 70 games with New Jersey at 19. It appears, or it seems like Pavle's like 32, right? Doesn't it seem like he's 32, 33? He's 28. He's 28 years old. So let's get to then the question that that I was talking about before we talked about our sponsors is, I know that there was scuttle about, Zacha could be a guy that moves. Zacha, not right now, but earlier in the season. Remember, you're not moving him. There's no effing way you're moving him.
No.
At 28, you got to be comfortable signing him to a 5-year plus deal, right?
Yes.
5 or 6 year deal.
Yep.
And you're talking, he's at 4.75, I believe, right now.
Yep. That's what it is.
Has he elevated? I mean,
easily. Yes.
I was going to say what, to 6? To 6
minimum.
I was going to say 6.5.
If he,
with the cap going up, do they
with the cap going up? You that 4.75 when he signed it is probably close to 7 now. Yes. It's a 5 times 7, right?
Yeah.
To look at what Geeky's 6 times 6, right? Is that
5.5? I believe.
Okay,
I believe it's 5.5 times 6. I believe.
Yeah. So you're looking at you're looking at 6 times 6, 6 times 6.5, something along those lines. Because I think at the end of the day, even though Geeky scores much more proficiently. That center position, he'd get that on the market easily if he went free.
Oh, yeah. No question.
Yeah.
And somebody would probably offer him 7 years.
For sure.
Again,
get him to 35. It's nothing. 35, nothing.
35, 36 for the end of the deal.
The guy's a beast. He never gets hurt. He's huge. He skates like. Again, I'm just so partial to that kind of a player as a goaltender too. Like I just know how valuable that guy is. 20 goals or 25, 28, none of that matters to me because of what he does throughout the entire game. So,
and Victor Arvidsson, it's not like he hasn't scored 20 goals before, as we talked on one of our last shows. It's this is going to be. What's his 6th year when he gets to it? Correct.
And twice, maybe 3 times 30. I don't have it pulled up, but I know it's at least twice. But yeah, this is what he is. This is exactly
30
what
and once 29.
There you go.
Right. So this is what he is. But my thing is, And he's played with some good centers. Now, granted, his bigger goal-scoring years were earlier in his career, but he actually still had 26 with LA in the 2020
sneaky
season.
26 in LA, like really sneaky.
Right, and 59 points. See, I don't see him I could see him being a regular 20 to 22 goal guy. I don't know if I see him being another 59-point guy, Victor Arvidsson, but I wonder how much he would say, a lot of the credit for this year that he would give to Pavel Zacha. Just given how well they played. And I saw a tweet from, I believe, Scott McLaughlin about how that line has the second best goal differential, 5-on-5 goal differential, I think, in the NHL. Memory serves correct. So
eye test passes that for me.
It sure does. It sure does. All right. Goaltending. Korpisalo now, the last couple, given up goals.
Yep.
You talked about wanting a save there, in addition to playing much better defense. Look, the McAvoy-Aspero pair struggled.
Oh, baby,
they significantly.
Yeah.
We haven't said that much about them. And in particular, Jonathan Aspero, I can remember maybe one or two other games where you're like, it wasn't good. He wasn't this, he wasn't that. This was kind of a whoa game. Like, okay, we haven't seen that.
Well, and again, you hope, for a guy like that, right, who is just feeling it, you hope the break didn't break all of his momentum. And now the sickness this week as well. Like, he's got a lot of work to do to get back up to Charlie McAvoy minutes, right? Yep. Like, it's just different. And
Charlie McAvoy competition.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean, is like you're seeing the number one guys. Now, Pittsburgh didn't have anybody and it still affected them. And then Charlie, right? Like Charlie's probably that's probably a tough weekend for Charlie. The high's finally coming down. No one's asking about Olympics nearly as much. He's not talking about it as much. And now it's like, oh boy, okay, 2 afternoon games. I got to get going here. That's going to be on him this week again with the 2 West Coast teams. It's going to be on him to get himself back up and running.
I would imagine with back-to-backs, the Bruins will have Monday off. I would just imagine getting home not late this evening, but probably 10-ish or so. Have Tuesday game, LA, Wednesday practice, Thursday game, San Jose. I would imagine a Friday practice, and then I believe, are they back in Washington? Is it next week? They're at the Caps. Okay,
Caps on the Saturday. 14th.
Okay, that's right. They go Washington. I think they have a road trip, and then they go
3 and 4. Washington Devils, Canadians.
Right. Okay.
3 and 4 road.
So tomorrow's definitely going to be a rest day.
Yes, it is.
Reset, and then get ready for an LA team that's bringing in a new head coach, a couple of new players, like Artemi Panarin, for instance, but a team that, in theory, they're fighting for their playoff lives too in that very poor Pacific Division. But hopefully, Bruins can reset.
Yeah, and Montreal just beat them, so you gotta keep pace with them. And as I look at the schedule tomorrow, they're in Columbus tomorrow afternoon for the European primetime game.
Are they doing that again tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 4 p.m. in Columbus are the LA Kings and the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Wow, 4 o'clock. Yeah. That's an odd time. That's 10 o'clock in most of Europe.
Yes, it is. You're right.
You would think they would start at like
2.
2, right?
Yeah. If you're gonna do 4, do 2. So, but yeah, weird one. 4.
Okay. All right. So the Bruins beat the Caps, and in that Caps game, again, as I go back to it, it was a 1-1 game. Arvidsson makes it 2-1. Lindholm makes it 3 with the empty net goal. Swayman, good again in that. He was good.
Yeah.
Right? He got himself going there. Korpisalo, last 2 games, not so good. Nope. Is this a run with Sway because every other day type week, do you think? Go Sway, and then with back-to-backs coming up, that's where you split them next, in theory? Is that what you think?
Oh, yeah, for me, yeah, 1,000,000%. I thought about it at the time. It wasn't even hindsight. I would have played Swayman against Nashville, too, last week. I thought they kind of missed the boat on that one. I think you could have rolled Sway there again and then just had Corpy play the game today. So I thought they kind of missed the boat there. So yes, this week I'm riding Sway right now. He's playing really good. Really good.
I don't see any reason why, with not playing today, that he runs every other day through Saturday.
Yeah, and then Korpisalo plays the Devils game and Sway will play the Canadiens game.
Right.
Pretty simple for me.
Okay. We figured everything out.
Yeah, easy.
All right. All right. So the Bruins go 1-0-1 over the weekend. Everybody is going to talk about the defeat to the Penguins, and I get it, especially again considering that neither of their legendary players were in the lineup and the Bruins couldn't put them away. The road record is troubling. There's no question about it. It gives me major cause or pause, either way you want to put it, cause or pause for concern, given how this team has so many road games down the stretch, Razor, that they will end up making the playoffs, but I'm just going to try and take it. Next game up is a home game against LA and just go from there and see where they're at.
I still like the math.
Okay. All right. Math I suck at, so I'm going to trust your math.
I'm good at 2 points and 1 point. That's my math. That's the extent of my math. And save percentage. I could tell you those two.
All right. We're going to have one or two shows this week. Of course, we'll have our next Saturday show on EEI as well. I don't have the schedule in front of me, so I'm trying to remember. I'm guessing it's after. No, I think it's actually after Thursday's show, after Thursday's game. I think that's when we do it next. Regardless, we'll be in touch. Everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks to all of our sponsors. And as always, especially on a Monday morning, enjoy your coffee.